never raise him, me never raise him, me never raise him so. Somewhere along the line, my son got messed up, you know. Me clothe him, me feed him, me watch him every day, boy, I talk to him. Oh yeah.
So how did the drugs become a part of this good thing to protect the black community?
It was put in the black community to destroy the community by outside influences. You know, we're not bringing no drugs in this country. You know, it was brought here by people that want to destroy the community.
And if we were to remind our viewers here, we're not talking about someone who's talking about theory. You're not talking.
No,
we're not talking
I'm
about someone
talking
talking
about experience.
We're talking about someone who lived and saw.
There, saw this, yeah, saw this whole decline in the community.
The drugs came from someone, and what
It's
the people
from
were.
outside
I mean, how were people? How was it introduced to Joe? You know who?
Because Joe was willing to do anything. Joe was willing to do anything. So therefore, it's bring to Joe.
It's bring to Joe.
You bring it to Joe. See,
sell.
I can give you a bag of cocaine today, and next week, 90% of your community be infested.
You know, in my
That's
book,
that's the way it works.
in my book, Pockets of Crime, and I speak talking about giving out samples
Yeah,
and getting people hooked to it,
yeah.
and then creating a market.
Building the market. Building the market. But I'm not saying that drugs weren't in the community.
Right.
But what I'm saying is drugs are limited to a certain type of person in the community. And they congregated together.
Okay.
They didn't infest the community with it. You see what I'm saying? Now today, drugs are so infested that not only adults, but little kids
Okay, caller, can you hold?
are involved.
Involved.
So if you poison a mind when it's young,
Did you want to state something on the air? Okay.
what type of chance does that child have
Hold on.
when he does grow up, if he grow up?
So now you have this young person in the group, right? And somehow or the other, if the drug is involved, did it come from leadership or it come from the bottom
No,
up?
it comes from the bottom up.
From the bottom
Never
up.
came from leadership. It came from the bottom up.
So the hungry trying to feed themselves
Yeah.
with the alternative market,
Infest and destroy the whole nation.
and then it worked its way up. So then,
Worked its way up.
so then the bigger men see, well, hey man, this little man here is making something.
Yeah.
I'm control this organization. I got to be in control of this.
It's all politics. Politics. Everything is politics.
Thanks, Derek. Caller, second caller. Thank you for calling, caller.
Yeah, I was there on the west side at that time, around that gentleman. I worked at a place called the Black Truth,
Yeah.
which was a social center on Roosevelt.
Yes.
And my job was to recruit young kids and get them into Zenith
Okay.
and coach them on how to act in a plant. But Zenith disappeared, man. It went to Asia. And that just is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Now, pot, it's like selling Avon. So you got to understand, everybody can't sell Avon. But pot was a recreational product, just like if you were in position to sell liquor, which we weren't, blacks. We weren't able to manufacture that. So we weren't able to manufacture our own beer. So this was something that the Latinos would bring in, and they were starving in Mexico. So it was a mutual move for economics, and it was a recreational high. And like he said, in the 60s, the civil rights movement, but not only that, the hippie movement, and people were waking up that pot was not dangerous. But the problem was some people got greedy and went to stronger drugs. And my mother was addicted to heroin, so I hated heroin, but I didn't hate pot. And but it was all based on if I can get a thing. Now, if you're not so pretty, even if you're pretty, you're going to have a problem trying to make money in this country. But if you're not so pretty, you're going to be rejected, man. I don't care how bright you are. You go down, you want to work in the Hilton somewhere, they're going to pass you over. So a lot of the brothers were men, sharp, intelligent, but getting passed over based on one look. And you think segregation and prejudice, that happens to fat people, it happens to black people, it happens to some people who can't speak English. But here's the real deal. When you turn 65, Don't care what color you are. When you become a senior citizen, there's another prejudice that you're going to run into, like a brick wall. You can't get a job. When you go on an interview, they look at you and say, hey, this guy looks like he's about 70. I got 40 years of experience.
Wow.
And it don't mean nothing. MacArthur could not get into West Point at 70, even though he had been a general. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep up the good work. Get the message out. Young people, please research on YouTube jazz and some of the more positive things that we did. That music will waken you up into creativity.
Yes, caller, I want you to take this number down. I want you to call us because I want you to be part of our movement here, right? The brothers of the original,
it would be a pleasure.
Right? The brothers of the original knowledge, like Robert and others at St. Leonard's house and others in the community, trying to change our community. Because if we just leave it for the National Guard and the police to say shoot them and lock them up, we just going to lead to genocide. 716.
I got it.
6030992. The number on the screen back there. Okay.
Yeah, and we need a job corps.
Call me after the show. Let's get organized, okay?
And subsidize them.
Yeah, call me after the show, okay?
All right.
Join our movement. Thank you so much, brother, for calling.
Thank you.
We have a next caller, Robert.
Yes, good evening, guys. And just a little what the last caller said. See, there was many people that didn't die. There was many people that didn't go into jail. But there was many people hung with that dumb stuff until they're 40 or 50 years old. Then, like you said, when you get 65, you can't collect no retirement, you can't get Social Security, you can't do nothing except resort to what you was doing. Let me elaborate a little with you. When you asked the gentleman, you asked him, you says, well, what happened when the drugs came in? Well, he said he stated it tore up the community. Come on, we all know it tore up the community, but the high echelon, the leaders, the true people sent word down, we're going to do this. We know money is power. That's how when politicians started coming in, you knew how to get the grants, and to make some money. Let me tell you something. That's why they broke off in branches. The smaller people got tired of doing all the work. And they said, well, let me branch out and create a new name, and we're going to do this other corner. It was just a contagious thing. It was all about money. Yeah. It was about money then, and it's still about money. So, maybe you start out with a great idea, Well,
how are we going to fix this? Caller, what do we do? We have John Samuel and John Jones and John Hunter in Chicago now. That's not yet, that's 14 years old, about the age that Mr. Hunter was when he decided to join the organization. But the organization he's joining is not the vice lord of the 1960s that say, well, let's feed the youth. It's an organization that's doing something else. And later on, he could be shooting you, he could be shooting me, he could be shooting another teenager. What do we do as black men now? Because, black people are not the only ones that are being affected, but for sure, we're on the front line, right? Yeah. As black and brown folks, what do we do?
You just asked a real good question. See, back in the 60s or late 50s, it started off as a different thing. But as people grew, as time grew, ranks came very strong. You ask, what can you do about this now, the year January the 24th, 2012? Yeah. Well, some old school people still have some kind of power where they could talk. You're not going to stop it that way. If somebody could actually one day say, we're going to do this and it's going to stop everything, it'd be worse. It'd be just like curing cancer and a cold. Okay. I don't have a solution to it.
Well, you started by you calling us and discussing us. Call our number. Let's be part of our movement, right? You see the live number here is for the studio. The one in the back, 716-603-0992 is the number where you can reach me directly. Be a part of the movement. Let's have some ideas out and see what difference we can make. Thank you so much for calling, okay? Is there next caller holding on? No? Yes. What do you think about what the callers are saying?
I agree with everything that was said by every caller. The solution has got to come from us. It's got to come from us.
So let me ask you this. We have about 4 more minutes here. But a young guy in Jamaica, a young guy in Trinidad, a young guy in Buffalo, New York, in Cincinnati, Ohio is going to watch this because this is going to be on YouTube, right? They're going to watch this, and they are contemplating at age 14 to join an organization, right? Yeah. That they think whatever they're thinking. What do they have to look forward to? At age 62. having spent 35 years of your life behind bars, when at age 24, what do you have to tell them to let them think about what they think they want to do?
Well, the only thing I can tell you is from experience. When I joined, there was a different mindset, a different concept. Today's concept is criminal minded from the start. And that concept will lead you to the grave or 35 years in the penitentiary like I did. If not worse. If not worse. See, because you got guys sitting in the penitentiary now that'll never see the streets anymore. Just dying in the penitentiary. Been there 40 years, 50 years. That's what you got to look forward to.
Do you feel lucky sometimes that you're still alive?
You know, I feel lucky. And if you think doing 35 years in the penitentiary is lucky, you know what I mean?
Blessed?
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. You know what I mean? It's a blessing.
But I'm talking about when you were out there on the street, were there moments where, like the two lives that you took, could you have easily been one of those victims from somebody else?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember you told me once that you were
I've been shot.
Huh?
I've been stabbed
You've been
myself.
shot and stabbed?
Sure I have. Sure I have. I've been shot and I've been stabbed myself. You know
but you were telling me that it's almost every day. I think one day you were telling me something like almost every day you were living the road of death. Something like that. What did you mean by that?
Because of the lifestyle I was living, about those things I was doing. I mean, in any given moment, you understand me, somebody come up behind you and take the top of your head off because of what you done did. You know, at any given time. And by me not sitting remembering about what I did to who so-and-so and so-and-so, I got to always watch my back at any given moment. And I accepted the fact that any given moment I could be gone.
So the lifestyle gave you a certain type of long tail. There's a long tail to the lifestyle because it's not like you go to work, you punch in, you punch out, and you go to sleep and you wake up, right? Yeah. You're doing bad things all along. Yeah. And those things accumulate and your memory is going to remember all of that.
Sure. And when you go to sleep, you can be put to sleep anytime, only because you went. You see, on a regular job, you go to work, you come out, you punch in, you punch out, you go to sleep. But see, in this job here, you can be put to sleep at any time by anyone. And that's the problem. That's the solution that we have to work on. Outside the drug selling and everything else, the criminal things that's being done, we got to work on why is the need for all the violence? You know.
And is there really a need for all the violence? We believe that there is not a need for all the violence. We believe that there is a way to conduct your life, regardless of what it is that you do for a living, that does not kill people, that does not hurt and maim people. We certainly have to have Mr. Hunter back. The time is up. We have to leave. We have just about a few more seconds. But we want to thank you for watching, callers. We want to thank you for calling. You're looking at the show, the Peaceful World Movement Network, Peaceful World Movement in Focus. Today, the 24th of January, 2012. I'm Dr. Peter K.B. St. Jean.
And I want to thank you for inviting me.
And we will see you again, Mr. Hunter. Stay tuned for our next show.
Mama is well known in the neighborhood. All her friends gathered when they heard the news to give their support anyhow they could. They said be strong Mildred. We know that's not how you raise your children. She looked them straight in the eyes. She just broke down and just could not hold back her tears. You heard the neighbors. She never raised him, she never raised him, she never raised him so. Somewhere along the line her son got messed up, you know. She clothed him, she feed him, she watch him every day, but she talked